Carlos Sainz wins the 2024 Formula One Mexico City Grand Prix, and at this point, Ferrari is once again fighting for something significant. After years of seasons with lackluster endings, the Maranello team is competing for the Constructors Championship for the first time in the turbo-hybrid era, with only 4 races remaining in the season. A scenario that was hard to predict a few months ago, even for the incurable optimists. The engineers of the Prancing Horse managed to get the SF-24 back on track in terms of development after losing confidence due to the aerodynamic updates introduced at the Circuit de Catalunya in the Spanish Grand Prix. A floor design that completely derailed the technical plan for the championship, throwing away at least 3 months of the current Formula One season. Since the Italian Grand Prix at the Monza circuit, the Ferrari SF-24 cars have almost always fought for victory with both drivers, on circuits with completely different characteristics. This second consecutive victory in a hectic triple-header allowed them to surpass the derelict Red Bull, which has been in free fall since May, and it simultaneously gave Ferrari the chance to seriously aim at the standings dedicated to the Formula One constructors. Although Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz have no chance of competing for the Drivers' Championship crown, as they are too many points behind the Dutchman Max Verstappen, they are delivering truly exceptional performances. Carlos Sainz was craving one last highlight behind the wheel of the SF-24, and thanks to an impeccable Mexican weekend from the first session onward, he managed for the first time in his career to win more than one Grand Prix in the same season. Ferrari Formula One boss Frédéric Vasseur expressed that Carlos Sainz maintained strong control throughout the Mexico City GP weekend, and pointed out that the Spaniard achieved 2 laps fast enough to secure pole position. And after initially conceding the lead to Max Verstappen on the first lap, he fought back to claim a dominant victory. For part of the race, he was pursued by his teammate, Charles Leclerc. The previous United States GP winner eventually fell behind Lando Norris, finishing third after running wide at the final corner. Frédéric Vasseur highlighted Carlos Sainz's strong performance from the start, noting his strength in FP1, FP2, his long stint, and his one-lap pace, with a solid race to cap it off. He emphasized that the driver appeared to have the race under control, demonstrating confidence by relinquishing his position on lap 1 to Verstappen, a strategic decision that showcased his self-assurance. Frédéric Vasseur elaborated, comparing Carlos Sainz's strategy to his previous approach with George Russell, where the Ferrari man opted to give back a position when unsure of an overtaking move. Each time, he successfully reclaimed the position on the following lap. Frédéric Vasseur saw this as a smart tactic, as engaging in a prolonged battle could result in time loss or a potential penalty. The Ferrari team principal concluded that Carlos Sainz's confidence allowed him to give up a position with the belief that he could regain it the next time around. The Spanish driver is aware that, barring extraordinary surprises, the near future will not offer him the chance to fight for victory. This is an extra motivation for Carlos Sainz to enrich his record and to enter Ferrari's history. Yes, because winning the constructors' title with the Italian side would allow the Spaniard to leave an important mark on his work. It would not be a personal title to show off, but a significant legacy after 4 years of hard work in the red team's court, a sort of tangible proof that the Maranello lineup could be considered the best on the grid, capable of maximizing weekend race results despite the many ups and downs that have been encountered during the season. Frankly, the Spanish driver felt the blow. Being suddenly relieved of his duties was a totally unexpected scenario, and precisely because of this, it hurts even more. And it couldn't be different. When the dream of Ferrari president John Elkann, and that of millions of fans, to bring Lewis Hamilton to Italy came true, there was no longer room for the Spaniard. But Carlos Sainz showed what resilience truly means. He absorbed the blow, rolled up his sleeves, and never disparaged the Maranello team that had fed him, even though he was essentially shown the door when a renewal seemed the most likely scenario. Indeed, the son of the 2-time World Rally champion has grown in every respect compared to the young man who joined Ferrari in 2021. He has learned to win, to be faster in qualifying, with one of the best in the field for single-lap performance on the other side of the garage. Despite the natural rivalry with Charles Leclerc, their collaboration has been a valuable asset for the Prancing Horse. Although the anticipation of Lewis Hamilton's arrival in red is feverish, there is a subliminal sense that, in the end, Carlos Sainz might genuinely have been capable of meeting the Italian team's ambitions in the coming years. This is a sentiment shared by a significant portion of the fan base. Truth be told, a sensational return of Carlos Sainz cannot be ruled out. At the end of the year, Ferrari and Carlos Sainz will therefore part ways almost reluctantly, as both parties were pleased with the professional collaboration. On more than one occasion, there has been talk of a possible return to Maranello when Lewis Hamilton decides to hang up his helmet, a scenario far from unlikely. The last world champion for the Red Team, Kimi Räikkönen, who won the driver's title in the 2007 Formula One season, returned to the Italian car for starting with the 2014 championship, leading to a second sporting life that lasted another 5 seasons. Moreover, both Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso are demonstrating that, with the necessary physical preparation and adequate training, it is possible to be highly competitive even past the age of 40 in today's Formula One. This year, Carlos Sainz turned 30, and, age-wise, he can still race at high levels for many more seasons. In the meantime, he can only look to close his current adventure at Ferrari in the best way possible, aiming to support the Constructors Championship fight, a scenario that would bind Carlos Sainz to Ferrari by an even stronger common thread than is already the case.